Morning peeps, good morning everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe. Finally, we're back home. That felt like a long trip. It was the same as usual. Left last Sunday, got back yesterday, but it just felt longer. Maybe more interviews, more commitments. But look, I'm not complaining. That was a fucking great fight card. What a great night of boxing. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well. It felt like the show was faster. Although, and I think I said this on the video I did yesterday, although we got to the venue, like, let me explain how it works for me on my side. So normally when I do a fight card for Matchroom, normally I get to the venue at like 6, do a quick rehearsal. We go live at 7, we're off air 11. For these shows in Riyadh, you get to the venue, or at least I got to the venue at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Way more rehearsals, and then we go live at 6:30. We went off air at 3:45 in the morning. You can see the difference. So it's a long day. Anyway, fuck all that shit. Dmitry Bivol. Like, I felt like I got a bit emotional ringside watching Bivol win. At least the ups and downs of the fight, the ebbs and flows. And I was on the plane thinking, why? Like, why this connection I have to Dmitry Bivol? Like, I'd never really spoke about Bivol up until the Canelo fight. And I guess it all came down to that fight. For those of you that are new to the channel and don't know the story, I'll quickly tell you the story. And then we'll get into what was an incredible fight again. So when Canelo fought Bivol, obviously not many people, I mean, obviously, look, boxing fans know who Dmitry Bivol was, right? But not many people were speaking about Bivol. It was all about Canelo, and Canelo being, I don't know, the pound for pound #1, I think, at the time, So it was all about Canelo. And I remember I was asked to do an interview with Bivol. And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And I said to Bivol at the time, I said, look, 99.9% of the fans that are coming to this arena are going to be supporting Canelo. And he said, yeah, but you'll be supporting me. And I was like, yeah, I will be. So one of these guys put that top around my back. And from that moment that he did that, I was Team Bivol forever. For that exact moment that he put that, I just felt something. I was like, oh my God, I'm part of the team. And then at the end of the fight, when Bivol won, he did his press conference, I kind of met him in the corridor and he took his own top off. So that is the top. He took his own top off and gave it to me. And I framed it. And ever since then, ever since I've seen him at events, ever since I've been to his fights, I always go into the locker room. I just wish him good luck. The whole team know me. And I kiss a bit of ass. I can't lie to you. I just like Dmitry Bivol. And I regret, look, I said I think Beterbiev would win this fight. And there's parts of me that are like, I shouldn't have done that. But I just felt like Beterbiev won the first fight, and sometimes whoever wins the first fight, I mean, the record books will tell you whoever wins the first fight goes on to win the second fight. But ringside, and look, you're supposed to be impartial. I mean, I'm the fucking presenter of the show, and I was impartial for the first couple of rounds because I was so nervous for Bivol. I was just there, like, just watching it as a fan, you know, clapping, applauding. When Beterbiev started to put it on Bivol, so again, through the first 4 rounds, I think I had it either 3-1 Bivol or 2-2. I can't remember which way it was. I haven't watched the fight back yet, but I had it 3-1 Bivol or 2-2. Sorry, my phone. I thought I put my phone on silent. Yeah, 3-1 Bivol or 2-2. Then Beterbiev started to really turn it up. I mean, he went to the body, he went to the head. He came out so aggressive. Like, he came out as though it was round 10 and he's been told, okay, you're down. That's how he came out. And he came out so aggressive. And I've always said this about Beterbiev. It's not that he's a weight bully, but he is so big for the weight. Like, he is so strong. His back is wide. His legs are really thick. And he's very scary, isn't he? And we know the punch power. So he started to really land shots. And there's a couple of people behind me. Although it was very loud in the arena. We're going to get to the arena as well, because I think all the fights should happen at that arena. There's a couple of guys behind me. And they were saying, oh, he's got to Bivol. He's got to Bivol. Like, you know, well done to Bivol for the first fight. That's what they were saying. And I was kind of following along to that narrative, like, shit, man, Bivol, there's nothing he can do. Like, Bivol's having to work. And I mean, I don't know how fit these guys are, man. It's incredible. But he's having to work off the back foot I mean, he's doing everything. Like, he is literally going into that tool bag and throwing everything he can at Beterbiev, and nothing is working. And I felt like that was the way it played out from rounds 5 to, I'm going to say 5, 6, and 7. I'm going to say that 5, 6, and 7. I thought, oh my God, like Bivol was just he wasn't getting beaten up, but he was getting bullied. That's the exact word. He was getting bullied. And I was thinking, shit, like, fuck. And then he had a round 8, and I then lost my mind. I honestly, it was unprofessional, and I apologized, and it was a bit embarrassing. I started shouting. I was like, come on, Bivol, come on. I looked at his corner. I was like, come on. I'm like, Ade, what are you doing? But I couldn't control myself. I said this on the video I made yesterday. Rounds 8, 9, and 10, maybe even 11, but definitely 8, 9, and 10 was some of the best boxing I think I've ever seen live, ever, from anybody. And I've been lucky enough to have seen a lot of good live boxing. Like, I saw Crawford bash up Spence, and that was fucking fascinating. But rounds 8, 9 of 10 of Bivol, considering how rounds 5, 6, and 7 looked, rounds 8, 9, and 10, and considering who he was up against, I thought was just, it was a masterclass. Honestly, it was a masterclass. Like, it's almost as though it was almost as though that was a plan. Okay, so we're going to win the first 4 rounds, and then we're going to make him feel like he's winning, and he's going to expand all this energy, and then we're going to fucking go boom. And that's what they did. They put it on Beterbiev. Like, he went to the body. It was the first time, at least in their fights, I've ever seen Beterbiev nod. You know, like when someone, you know, you've been cracked, and he kind of was like, okay, fair play. You kind of got me there. And he almost applauded Bivol within the fight. And I was like, okay, even he finally, Bivol's finally got the respect from Beterbiev, because I felt like he didn't get the respect from him in the first fight. And he was just fantastic. Like, he was making Beterbiev lunging, and then he was spinning off the ropes. And I was just like, oh, this is fucking incredible. I was like, just carry on. But there were moments, again, even in that masterclass, where he felt like Beterbiev was just that close away from landing a sledgehammer. That there was a time, it might have been, I can't remember, it might have been round 9 or 10, where they both went for the home run. And fuck me, they both missed by that much. And Bivol landing, I don't know if Bivol's landing and doing anything to Beterbiev, but I know if Beterbiev landed that shot, it's lights out for Bivol for about a month. He put everything into it, and they both missed. And I think it was 9, because then the bell went. I remember thinking, fuck, here we go, championship rounds. So it might have been 9, but I thought Bivol was just, honestly, I thought he was excellent. He stood in the pocket when he needed to stay in the pocket. Like, he got his respect, and I said this, he's gonna need to land something with intent, real intent, to get the respect of ARTUR Beterbiev, because I don't think he got it in the first fight. And he did. He's going to need to make Beterbiev look old. And he did. He's going to need to go to the body. And he did. He's going to need to use his legs. And he did. Like, Bivol did everything he needed to do. When I spoke to Bivol throughout the week, and he always said to me, Ade, I wasn't 100%. And I kind of looked at him like, dude, I don't know if you can be 100%. Like, I don't know what more you can do. I saw it. He's obviously watched that fight back, him and his team. I'd love to be in a meeting room with him and his team where they're watching the fight back and they're stopping and rewinding and, okay, look at your feet here. You got to do. I would love to be in that room. But they've obviously seen something like, yeah, we can do this. We can do this, because he was so confident and not arrogant. He was so confident throughout the week, as though we know what we're doing. And it's about legs. It's about here. Intelligence. It's about here. Heart. And he has all those 3 in abundance. We know he's got the legs. There might not be a better mover in boxing than Dmitry Bivol. There might not be. I mean, there isn't. There isn't. His movement is just, it's incredible. You know what was more incredible? We'll get back to the fight in a second. I think I took a video of it. Usyk and Crawford were like that watching. And I was like, wow, both of them just like that watching. I was like, this is incredible. You have the number 1 and 2 pound for pound watching maybe the number 4 and 5 pound for pound. It was just, the room was full of fucking pound for pounders. It was incredible. But yeah, Dmitry Bivol has legs better than I think anyone. He's got this. which all the top elite fighters have. It's not all about gritting. Sometimes you got to have a bit of money. You got to know what you're doing, right? He's got that, and he's got that. He's got that because this is ARTUR Beterbiev you're talking about. You're talking about, I think, the scariest fighter fighting right now. Like I find him so intimidating, like very intimidating, and maybe Bivol does as well. So you got to have heart, because the heart will keep you in that pocket when you really shouldn't be. Like when you know you've got to win that round, so you've got to stay in that pocket for 3 or 4 more seconds, and you know you don't want to because something crazy could be coming back. That's that, and you got to have that. I love Dmitry Bivol. Trilogy next, right? You've kind of got to. There are so many other options for Bivol. Beterbiev is now an option. It's going to sound stupid, but it's kind of a shame that Crawford's fighting Canelo, because I think Canelo Bivol at 168. I think Bivol can make 168. I really do. I think Bivol can make 168. Canelo Bivol at 168. Bivol trying to become double undisputed. I mean, take my money. And look, I do think that's still a possibility, by the way. I mean, you saw the lineup of fights that Turkey wants to make, and it was obviously Canelo Crawford is sort of much done deal. Then after that, it was Canelo versus Bivol. Sorry, Canelo. Yeah, it was, Canelo, apologies, versus Bivol or Eubank Shiraz. Shiraz drawing, losing, we'll make a video on that. I think rules that out, and Eubank, Canelo, no. So Bivol makes sense. Bivol now makes sense. But you've got to see a third. There's got to be a trilogy. There has to be. It's one apiece. And it wasn't like either man got blown out of the water in both of those fights. Both of those fights were crazy close. That being said, I thought Bivol's win here was a lot wider, even though it was only a couple of rounds, than Beterbiev's win 134 days ago. I think that. I think you could make an argument, and a lot of people have made an argument for Bivol winning the first fight. No one can make an argument for me anyway. I've not heard an argument for Beterbiev winning this fight. I haven't. But it still was an incredible fight. Incredible. That arena is the arena. It's taken them a while to kind of understand that, I think. We've only done one boxing match, and that was Latino night, and obviously that was empty. No one came out for that one, which was a shame. But I think, look, they're going to try things, and some things will work, some things won't. And maybe an all-Mexican card just didn't work in Saudi Arabia. Not a shame to the fighters, because some great fighters on there, but it just didn't work. You need a mix. You need a mix. But this venue, which I think is around 6,000 or 7,000, can be expanded to be 8. But because the stage kind of takes up a lot of that, I think it would always remain 6. But I think that venue is perfect. You get a really good atmosphere. It was a really good atmosphere in there. I think all the fights were which one didn't really? I thought Shiraz, Carlos Adames wasn't great. It just didn't get going. You kind of felt like it was always on the edge of like something's going to happen, then it kind of just didn't. So bar that fight, I felt all the fights were fun. I even thought Bacoli, Parker was fun. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about my guy, Martin Bacoli, a point because those are his gloves. We're going to talk about him. I thought Padley was gutsy, and I love that. I love a story like that. And it can only happen in boxing. I mean, I say that. I mean, I guess it can happen in other sports, but only boxing can you, being relatively unknown, land a big win like he did against Mark Chamberlain. All of a sudden, everyone knows who you are, and then you get this fight. And look, he's been paid well. I'm not going to, in fact, I know exactly what it was. I won't tell you the exact number, but high six figures. So that's life-changing. It's life-changing money. You get yourself a house, you can quit your job, you can go full-time and see what you can do in this sport. How old is Padley? I really hope I'm typing this and it's going to say Padley is late 20s, early 30s, because I just feel like there's a story there. 29. Come on. There's a story there for Padley. But you know what I like about Padley? Like, he took this fight on late notice, got put down, and he could have stayed down. Like, he's got his money, and everyone's like, okay, well, you've done your job. He landed a couple of, digs on Shakur Stevenson. You've weathered the storm. You've done 4 or 5 rounds. Like, 4 or 5 rounds was more than enough for Padley, but he kept banging on the canvas. He wanted more from himself. He was proud. He's a proud guy. He wanted more from himself, and he was like, no, fuck this. I'm getting up. Didn't need to get up. From the first body shot, it's done. Got up. Got put down again. Done. Got up. Got put down again. Still upset. The towel came in. I'm like, look at that. That's a fucking great late replacement. Honestly, great late replacement. I wouldn't mind seeing Padley get another shot, and this time against Floyd Schofield, because there's been a lot of talk of with Floyd Schofield have done a lot better. Let's see Padley versus Floyd Schofield. Let's see. Why not? Why not? Let Padley stay there now. I love it. I love the Padley story, man. Fantastic. All right. This is a quick video. I'm going to do separate videos. This is going to be a very busy few days for me. I'm going to do separate videos about all the main subjects from Riyadh season. Martin Bakoli is going to be spoken about. Hamza Shiraz will speak about him as well. I hate the heat and the hate he's getting, fucking, and really annoys me. Callum Smith, Boatsi, Shakur Stevenson, and then we'll do like a roundup of everything Riyadh season, because it was the greatest fight card I think we've ever seen. Obviously, look, there is a huge disappointment that it wasn't Dubois Parker, because that would have been sensational, but I still enjoyed it. I thought the night was fantastic. The atmosphere, something that's always critiqued, was really good, and the speed of the event as well was really good. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well. I did make a mistake. You know what it is, yeah? With being sort of the presenter and on TV, I wish you guys could hear sort of what's going on in my ears, because I wear these. Can you guys see that? So I wear these. Can you see that? So I wear two, right? And one of them is the producer that's always talking to me, and one of them is the director that's always talking to me. I'm just trying to give you guys an inkling as to how this all plays out, or an idea of how it all plays out. And it is just loud, and it's noise, and it's brr, brr. And at the same time, you got the crowd, and at the same time, I'm trying to talk to Sean Porter. I say this because there was a moment where I wanted to say that Zhang had been stopped for the first time, but knocked out is what I meant. But I think I said that was Zhang's first defeat or something. And I was like, as soon as you say it, you know you said it wrong. And it's like, fucking hell, I can't get it back. But look, apart from that, I thank you so much for all the positive feedback. I see all the messages. Too many to respond to. But I see all the messages. And those of you that know the journey. I don't need to get into that again. But the journey from that to this, to be the main presenter on that show, is just... But it doesn't stop. Tomorrow we go to Manchester. I'm hosting the Chris Eubank Conor Benn presser. Wednesday, I'm doing the face-off. Thursday, I'm doing the presser in London. Friday, we go to Belfast for Paddy Donovan, Lewis Crocker. Boxing is booming. Peace.